Cool, we have glass. Eh. Ew, you know what would have worked out at least as well? The Super Mario donut blocks. Those would have worked well on here. There isn't anything I missed down here, right? There is not. Okay, cool. Coming for you. Come at me. There you go. I wasn't even holding down. You just press down once and you just slide until something makes you not slide anymore. Cool. I don't really understand how these... I think they're Bakis, but they seem to have limbs, which is weird. It's not like I keep finding fridges out here. What are people refrigerating in a place like this? Oh. Ah! Okay, it didn't really work. This does not work very well. Again, I appreciate the game doing fun physics stuff, but this is not very effective fun physics stuff. That's what those are, candy canes? I have a funny, dumb idea. I have a funny, dumb idea. It's a weird reference. Give me a second, I'll pull up a reference for this. Okay. Oh, hold on. Need to rearrange a little bit. But, this is a weird, silly reference. But that's kind of the best kind, I guess. Oh boy. Hopefully this won't be something that will be too ornate compared to how dumb of an idea it is. Yeah, just candy cane there. Okay, cool. Oh my god! I need to be able to draw for this to work. I need a bit more than what's going on here. Is this a good base color? It's pretty much the right base color. Why? What in the world? Look at the back sensor bar. Is it a distance thing? I'll work with that as the base color. I will have to... Give me just a second so I can get... So I don't have to, like, rotate things in my head. Let me rotate my reference picture real quick. Okay. Here we go. I feel like it's not even going to be completely obvious what... Now that I see it from this angle, I feel like it's not going to be completely obvious what it even would be if you knew what it was until I described it. Even if I drew it totally faithfully, but oh well. Such is life. So, given the unimportance of this, I will draw it a little crudely. Thankfully, it's also not something with particularly distinguishing features to begin with. Which will help a little. As a base, let's do this. That's our start. Let's not make this thing too wide down here. I wish I had more retries. Or retries, more undos. Or command history, whatever you want to call it. Okay. It's really hard to make like a subtle incline like this. That's what I need to do here. But kind of like that, I guess. Again, this is something that I am going a little cruder than usual on, given the low stakes here, so to speak. This is definitely a simplification of the original shape right there too, but I think that's allowable here. So like I said, nobody would recognize the shape, even if I did it perfectly, so. Do you want this portion to be a bit thicker than the part above it? No. Don't want to get wider and then thinner anywhere. That's not how it works. Not to pay too much attention to detail here, but it is difficult to. It is both difficult and important here to get at least the vague idea of the shape on the bottom there. Okay. From here. I feel like the shading is gonna do a decent amount of work for me here. If I can pull it off. I feel like it would look a bit better if that was actually more symmetrical, but... Sure. Okay. Now, I don't know why I find this one part right here kind of concerning in terms of like how easy it'll be to do, but there is one part I find slightly intimidating. That's the right word. It's these gentle arcs here, I guess, that will also have to be pretty symmetrical and whatnot. I think that worked pretty well. I feel like that turned out pretty well. I did make them a bit too tall. That's okay, I can just kind of cut them off at a lower angle, or at a lower location, and it's pretty fine. Okay, and I'll just start with the silhouette right now. There's a subtle color difference in the original. Oh. On this particular part, but it's not the most important thing. How odd this thing is. Yeah, lots of the subtleties in the colors I'm definitely missing here, but it's not really the important part. I will... start doing a little bit of the detail now. Wow. Which of course will still be fairly crude. This is a real exercise in patience, this game. This is one of those details that's probably not going to end up even visible, unfortunately. Which is unfortunate because I think it's fairly important one for actually keeping things looking interesting. But if nothing else, I'll know it's there, and that'll be worth something. Okay, and this portion here. Bit of a lighter color here. I want this to look nice and round and uniform, which is very difficult to achieve with what I've been provided. Okay. A little bit of unintended asymmetry here, but I think for the most part that works. Okay, and at this point in space, just a little bit of shading to try to give this a little bit more depth in the appropriate places. And she'll be pretty subtle. In fact, I'm kind of on my own to do that part since my reference is rotated so the light doesn't line up. No big deal. I'm spending way more time on this than is reasonable, I will admit. I wanted to work with an idea that I thought was kind of amusing, at least a little bit. Especially since we'll be seeing this thing all over for at least a little bit. Okay, lighter color. I don't know how much time I've spent on this so far. I happen to not have my timer visible right now, actually, which is probably kind of dangerous, considering what I'm doing, but my reference just happens to be covering it. Wow, that worked astoundingly well. What now? last little bit of texture kind of on bits of this here. This was kind of a dumb because I could kind of thing. But if you don't recognize this, you are probably right not to, since this isn't really a particular thing, I guess, really. This is... I had a really dumb idea. So I thought... Oh, ignore that sound. So I thought to myself, well, what would be kind of funny, instead of having a bunch of candy canes everywhere in the ground, would be... just seeing all these things stuck in the ground everywhere remind me very vaguely of the Keyblade Graveyard from Kingdom Hearts that shows up in a couple games. Only one of which I actually played, but still. Which is basically just a bunch of Keyblades of various indistinct shapes stuck in the ground in what's more of a deserty kind of place than a tundra kind of place like this, but still, similar idea. And I just thought, and of course it's supposed to be kind of like, oh, these are all like things that belong to people that are dead now. People that are all killed by a particular thing, more or less. Wow, that really went where it was supposed to. Fantastic. How do you... I was thinking you'd stack these up, but like they just fall to their side. This does not work. This is not working well. A little dumb, but sure, I'll take it. Anyways, that's what I've done. So this is just... I looked up a picture of one of the Keyblades of indistinct designs that you see just stuck on the ground, and I decided to draw that one. Anyways, silly and dumb, but I thought it was a funny idea. A way to reinterpret things, considering how this works quite differently. This is like quite different than what they had imagined. Anyways, having done that, bye everyone.